What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. And, well, markets have turned over a little bit, but not a lot going on. It's still quiet. There's still a lack of action, lack of activity. Certainly, there's a potential trade here in the euro currency as we look right now. But again, there's not a ton of shit to do here. Gold got over 4,000. Markets made new highs this morning, and they've turned over a little bit. But at the end of the day, again, there's not all that much action, so we'll just continue to watch and wait patiently. There was a couple of good trades earlier today. If you trade the method that I teach, gold and crude earlier, nice little buy opportunity. And of course, again, you have to be patient enough to wait. I think that in this environment, you want to be looking to sell premium in your option stuff. We have some open positions now, kind of mixed right now. Nothing great, nothing horrible, and we still have opportunity. But again, they're getting fewer and far between to find them. But we'll go through the whole list, and at the end of the day, we got what we got, and we'll deal with it the way we have to. That's always the key to remember is you trade what you have, and right now we're not getting enough action to really get involved other than the potential euro currency. But there's not a lot of the markets are very orderly would be the right term to use. There's no fear, there's no panic. So we'll see. Now, obviously, we opened last night on the reopen at 6 Eastern. I opened down pretty solid, and gold hit 4,000 last night, and then came down all the way down, and then obviously now making all new highs once again. The equities ticked up and got positive fairly sharply, and they've turned over now. So, we'll see if this is indeed going to continue. But one of the problems that we have from a trading standpoint is the lack of action in the market, which is something that we have to, be aware of, because again, without action, we don't get as many opportunities. So we have to be, you have to be prepared to sit tight and do nothing. And I think that's where we sit at the moment, is in one of those areas to sit tight and do nothing. It's not that I don't want to trade, because I would love to trade. I would love to be active. But unfortunately, now potentially you could be getting a trade coming here, potentially in the NASDAQ, potentially in the S&P. But we'll see. We're going to wait for it and see what happens, see if it shows up. But certainly it could be a potential buy coming in gold. So we have to be, again, alert and ready. And again, certainly, those who don't trade during these times, I don't blame you. Okay. I would have no problem, taking a day off. Okay. Because again, there isn't that much action to want to get involved. So, that's one of the things that we always have to be cognizant of, is what's going on in the market, and is there true opportunity? And again, we look at the overall volume; it's pretty light. Now, certainly, you could look at the S&P or the NASDAQ, but it didn't go down with any great speed or fervor. So again, do I really want to get involved here? It's a choice, and certainly. My choice is to kind of wait for a little bit and see if we can get some continuation. You want to see some heavy volume. Okay. Hold on 1 second, please. And of course, we'll see if we can get a reason so we can get some more selling. If the selling can extend, then we would look to be a buyer. Okay. But right now we're going down. We're going down pretty quickly. So, but again, there's no volume behind it. So there's no real panic in this selling. And that's obviously we're looking for fear and greed. Okay. We want to buy when they're fearful. We want to sell them when they're greedy. But without any true real volume, it's hard to get all that excited to do that. So that's the side that we're always sitting on is waiting. I mean, the S&P's on its lows, the Russell's on its lows, NASDAQ is near its lows. So we're waiting, and now we're maybe getting a little bit extension here into the sell-off. So maybe we'll look for a potential buy here. Certainly, the NASDAQ is a potential. S&P is a potential. Well, until we can trigger a buy here at some point. And probably won't be this bar, but we're ready. Okay, so we're going to wait for the next bar. See what happens. As we continue to take lower here. So again, we until we get a green bar, there's nothing we're going to do. We're going to sit here and watch it and wait to buy. We know we're going to be a buyer. Okay, S&P is a potential. And certainly you could buy the S&P here if you wanted. With a stop at 676, 67, 61. Of course, you should be already out of one. Put your stop at break even. That's a lockup win. Okay. And we'll continue to watch. And now we're stopped out with a little profit. So trade is over. Profits are in. And let's just see. Maybe we're going to get some action here. I'm not going to look at the other stuff right now because maybe we'll get some action here, which is where I prefer to be. All right. All right, so we have a couple of minutes to go through some of these others while we're looking. Apple, nothing to do. Amazon, nothing to do. Coin. We are short call spreads already, so we would not add to that position. We're short from Thursday, which is right where we're back to now. So we wouldn't add to that position. Crowd, nothing to do. Ether, missed it. I mean, we weren't together, so nothing to do. Let's go back here and see what's doing here, if anything. And we're waiting to see if we get any volume here to trade off of. But really nothing to do right now. So we'll go back and we'll come back to that in a minute. Meta, they're getting clobbered. Certainly you might want to sell some put spreads in here. Google, under pressure, nothing to do. INOQ, nothing to do. We could have done it this morning, but we weren't together, so it was no trade. IWM could have been done earlier. Again, there's not a lot to do, so we're not going to be overstepping our bounds here, trying to find stuff because of the lack of activity. Microsoft, you could certainly sell call spreads here, which I'm going to look at right now. MSFT. Let's see here. I'm going to sell these for Friday. 522.50. Excuse me, I'm selling call spreads. I'm doing the wrong trade altogether. 525, 527.50 for $1.15. I can do that. Okay. Monster. Nothing to do. We missed a trade possibly yesterday. NNE. I mean, this is a sale, but I hate getting in the front of these parabolic moves right now in these thinly traded stocks, so I'll let it pass. Let's go back to our main window and see if anything's worthwhile for us. And no, not really. Okay. And Nugget. Again, I haven't done this for a while, and again, there was an opportunity, but look, I got hammered twice in this and gave up. Certain things, when you get unlucky, you just stop. NVIDIA, nothing. We already have a position on there from last week, which is a winner. Palantir, nothing to do. QBTS, similar to INOQ. I'm not going to get in the way of this right now. QQQ, I would wait. SMCI, certainly you could sell call spreads here. SPY, I did sell spreads this morning, but you're not going to get what I got, so I'm not going to recommend it now. I did sell I sold the 673, 674 this morning on the open. XYZ, you might want to sell some call spreads in here up at the top. Tesla, nothing. Win, nothing. XBI, you might want to sell some call spreads here. Again, I'm not that excited to do much of anything. Let's go back here and see what it looks like. So again, we don't really have a trade to make, but we'll continue to watch and see if something shows up. But we're seeing some pretty solid selling here, but again, there's no volume behind it, so we'll see what it looks like when it shows up. But overall, not a ton to do, but we'll continue to observe it and be ready for it. Should it give us the opportunity. Might have missed a little buy in the NASDAQ. Oh, well. Never worry about the ones you miss. Worry about the ones you can take. But, again, there's not much going on here. Not much excitement. So, again, I'm not going to get too overly anxious to jump in. I think that, again, this is a game of patience and being able to wait for it. And I think that's what we have to learn, is the ability to sit back and not get too involved. So, now here are some reasonable buy-in bars in the selling, 40,000. That's pretty good. So, but we still need to trigger some sort of a panic in these markets, which we don't have. So, let's see if anything shows up here. And not really. Okay, so again, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We did have a winning S&P trade already, so we'll see if anything else develops here. Doesn't appear to be the case. So as we sit and wait and watch, not much to do. So we will call it early, and we'll see you back here on Thursday. Remember, I do an update every morning, give you what I'm thinking before the markets open. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bubba's Live Trading.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.